Hello students, hope you are all having a good time. In today's class we shall continue with carbon and its compounds. In today's class we shall discuss about the difference between organic compounds and inorganic compounds. Scientist called J.J. Berzelius said that organic compounds are those which are obtained from living compounds and inorganic compounds are those which are obtained from non-living compounds, and organic compounds cannot be synthesized in the laboratory. That was the idea of J.J. Berzelius. Later on, a scientist called Wohler, what he did is he synthesized urea from an inorganic material, that is, has taken ammonium cyanide. He heated ammonium cyanide in the laboratory. When he heated ammonium cyanide in the laboratory, he got urea. Now from a non-living compound, he discovered a living compound. This gave a death blow to the idea that organic compounds are present in the living compounds, living bodies only. This made scientists to find out many organic substances from inorganic substances. Now they had to give a new definition for the organic and inorganic materials. The compounds that contain carbon are called organic materials, and the compounds that do not contain carbon are called inorganic materials. So organic chemistry means the chemistry which deals only with the carbon compounds, that is called as organic chemistry. Now, why carbon is so important? In the food we eat, in the clothes we wear, in the fuels we use, and the proteins, vitamins, nucleic acids that are present in our body, carbohydrates, all these have carbon in them. That is why carbon is so special. Next is, a carbon has a property called catenation property. Catenation is nothing but ability to form chains with its own compounds. Carbon has the ability to form strong chains with its own element, that is C double bond C double bond C. In certain compounds like proteins, it has a carbon can form, the chains can have millions of carbon atoms. This property is also seen in sulfur and phosphorus, but not as much as carbon. Carbon can form 4 single bonds with different atoms. It can form a triple bond and a single bond. It can form 2 double bonds, or it can form 1 double bond and 2 single bonds with its own element or with other atoms. This is because of which carbon has millions of compounds. So this special property of forming long chains is called catenation. It can form a very big chain, and the strength of the bond is also very strong between the 2 carbon chains. So that is the reason it can form very big chains. So this property of carbon is called catenation. Okay, our next topic is about hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons are those compounds which contain only carbon and hydrogen. Hydrocarbons are of 2 types: aliphatic hydrocarbon or cyclic hydrocarbons. They can be aliphatic or cyclic. Cyclic are also called as ring hydrocarbons. Aliphatic are also called acyclic hydrocarbons. Now, let us take the examples of this. This is a hydrocarbon which is acyclic or aliphatic, and this is also a hydrocarbon which is acyclic, that is aliphatic. Next, this is a closed hydrocarbon, this is called cyclopentane. This is also called ring hydrocarbon or cyclic hydrocarbon. So hydrocarbons are of two types, aliphatic or acyclic, cyclic or ring hydrocarbons. Now whether they are aliphatic hydrocarbons or whether they are cyclic hydrocarbons, hydrocarbons are of three types. One is alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. What are these alkanes, alkenes, alkynes? In a hydrocarbon, if all are single bonds, then if all the bonds are single bonds, then it is called as alkanes. Next, if it has at least one double bond, it is called alkene. And if it has at least one triple bond, if the highest bond present is a triple bond, then it is called alkynes. So hydrocarbons are of three types. They are alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. Alkanes have all single bonds. Alkenes have at least one double bond. Alkynes have at least one triple bond. So these are about alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. Next you have another classification of hydrocarbons. They are saturated hydrocarbon, or unsaturated hydrocarbon. If all the bonds that are present in a hydrocarbon are single bonds, then it is called saturated hydrocarbon. If at least one double bond or one triple bond is present, then it is called unsaturated hydrocarbon. In these three examples, this is saturated hydrocarbon because all the bonds are single bonds. This is unsaturated hydrocarbon and this is also unsaturated hydrocarbon. Here you find a double bond, that is why this is called unsaturated hydrocarbon, and here you find a triple bond, again this is an unsaturated hydrocarbon. Next, among this you have to tell me which one are closed chain hydrocarbons, which one are open chain hydrocarbons. The first one is an open chain hydrocarbon, the second one is branched hydrocarbon, the third one is closed chain hydrocarbon, that is it is also called, we have also discussed that it is ring hydrocarbon or cyclic hydrocarbon. Generally in the names you write it as names, while naming this, whenever it is in the form of cyclic or closed chain hydrocarbon, you write as cyclo, you add a word called cyclo. So that's about the saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Let me give a quick review of what we have discussed. First of all, we have discussed that J.J. Berzelius said that the living organic compounds are those which are present in the living organisms, inorganic compounds are those which are present in the non-living organisms. But Wohler, a scientist called Wohler, when he heated ammonium cyanide, an inorganic salt, he got an organic material, that is urea. This gave a death blow to the idea that living compounds have organic material in them. Instead, they had to give a new definition for organic and inorganic compounds. The new definition is all carbon containing compounds are organic and those that does not contain carbon are inorganic compounds. Now, our next topic is about catenation. Catenation is the ability to form long chains with its own element. Now, carbon can form highest chains containing millions of carbon atoms. So, this special property of carbon is called catenation, and the bond between the two carbon atoms is so strong that it can form long chains. This is possible even for phosphorus as well as sulfur, but carbon alone can form long chains. It can form 4 single bonds, 1 double bond and triple bond, 1 triple bond and a single bond, 2 double bonds, 1 double bond and 2 single bonds. All this can be achieved with carbon. Now, the next topic is hydrocarbons. What are hydrocarbons? Compounds containing only hydrogen and carbon are called hydrocarbons. There are 2 types of hydrocarbons, aliphatic hydrocarbons or acyclic hydrocarbons, cyclic hydrocarbons or ring hydrocarbons. Aliphatic are open chained and branched hydrocarbons. Cyclic hydrocarbons are ring or closed chain hydrocarbons like this. These two are aliphatic and this is cyclic hydrocarbon. Now, whether it is aliphatic or cyclic, the hydrocarbons are of three types: alkanes, alkenes and alkynes. If all the bonds present in the hydrocarbon are single bonds, it is alkane. If at least one double bond is present, it is called alkene. If at least one triple bond is present, it is called as alkynes. Now, further they can be classified as saturated and unsaturated hydrocarbons. Saturated hydrocarbons are those that have all single bonds. Unsaturated hydrocarbons are those that have double bond or a triple bond. If at least one double bond is present, it is unsaturated. If at least one triple bond is present, it is unsaturated hydrocarbons. So that's about the hydrocarbon class. The remaining topic we shall continue in the next class. Thank you.